Kamala Harris is out on the campaign trail today with Liz Cheney. Your thoughts on that?
Well, Liz Cheney lost for Congress.
I know that President Harris will be able to unite this nation. I know that she will be a president who will defend the rule of law.
For the first time since her historic endorsement of our Vice President Liz Cheney is out on the campaign trail with VP Harris. And not only is it an incredible image of the unity that VP Harris is bringing to her ticket, bringing to this election, but it is also driving Donald Trump crazy now. Of course, that's not the most important thing. But as we always talk about on this show, the more crazed, the more unhinged Donald Trump is, the more he lashes out, the more he is showing himself to the American people. And when he does, they don't like it. We know that to be true. The more they see and hear from the real Donald Trump, the unhinged Donald Trump, the Donald Trump that is constantly losing his mind, the better it is for VP Harris. And that is exactly what Liz Cheney wants. And not only did this get under Donald Trump's skin, but he actually lashed out following Liz Cheney's speech in an interview with Fox, absolutely losing his mind. And we are going to get into all of that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way. And supporting the work we're doing here now. Before we get into Donald Trump's meltdown, let's hear from Liz Cheney on the campaign trail.
As we meet here today, our republic faces a threat unlike any we have faced before. A former president who attempted to stay in power by unraveling the foundations of our republic, by refusing to accept the lawful results confirmed by dozens of courts of the 2020 election. We cannot turn away from this truth. In this election, putting patriotism ahead of partisanship is not an aspiration. It is our duty. At the very heart of our survival as a republic is the peaceful transition of power. Ronald Reagan said this was nothing short of a miracle, that every 4 or 8 years, the most powerful office in our land, indeed the most powerful office in the world, is passed peacefully to a new president. In the United States of America, violence does not and must never determine who rules us. Voters do. And in this country, under our Constitution, our president has a particular solemn obligation to ensure and guarantee the peaceful transfer of power. Since the beginning of the republic, every president in our history has fulfilled that duty. Every president until Donald Trump. When Donald Trump woke up on the morning of January 6, 2021, his intention, despite having lost the election, was that he would remain president. Rather than accept his loss and concede defeat, he had spent months overseeing a multi-part plan to attempt to seize power and remain in office.
An incredibly powerful message and a reminder of how many Republicans are coming out to support Vice President Harris. And of course, we talk about this all the time. It's not just former Republicans in the House or the Senate. It's not just former Trump officials who saw how dangerous he was in the White House and know he can never return again. But it is also Republican governors, Republican mayors across the country, like in Aurora or like Springfield, who are seeing the devastation that Donald Trump is causing to their communities right now, who are opposing his lies and conspiracies. This is important that we continue to push this message out of the unity, then common sense that VP Harris will bring. But of course, that drives Donald Trump crazy. And so when he was asked about Liz Cheney in an interview with Fox that he was doing just now, he absolutely lost it. And I want to check that out.
Kamala Harris is out on the campaign trail today with Liz Cheney. Your thoughts on that?
Well, Liz Cheney lost for Congress. She was terrible. Liz Cheney is a stupid war hawk. All she wants to do is shoot missiles at people. I really think it hurts. I think, frankly, if Kamala, I think they hurt each other. I think they're so bad, both of them.
First of all, Donald Trump's go-to attack on Liz Cheney was that she lost her House seat. First of all, I think that is impressive. I think it is honorable that Liz Cheney was willing to give up her House seat to defend our democracy. Donald Trump, you also lost in 2020, but you did the opposite. You lost dishonorably, trying to attack our democracy, trying to overthrow our election. But then Donald Trump continues to levy this accusation. It's really his go-to talking point at this point, calling anyone who he disagrees with or who disagrees with him dumb. And I think it's really just projection of where Donald Trump is at this point in the campaign, where he knows he doesn't have a cogent or coherent message to deliver against any of his opponents, pointing out rightfully that he is a criminal and tried to overturn our election. So all he can do is say they're dumb or they're stupid, because he knows he can't put together any thoughts to combat the truth. He is a pathological liar, a narcissist, and the most insecure man in America. So how could he possibly respond without throwing poop like the crazed individual that he is? It's the only thing that he can do because he is so out of it. And that's exactly what VP Harris was calling Donald Trump out for in her perfect takedown of him, his complete derangement and his attacks on our Constitution. And I want to check that out.
And the tragic truth that we are facing in this election for President of the United States is that there is actually an honest question about whether one of the candidates will uphold the oath to the Constitution of the United States. That is the tragic truth of this election, that this is actually an honest question that we are having as Americans. And I know the vast majority of us agree that upholding the Constitution must be a basic requirement. We expect of anyone seeking the highest office in the land. I know the vast majority of us, regardless of your political party, agree we must hold sacred America's fundamental principles, from the rule of law to free and fair elections to the peaceful transfer of power. And if you share that view, no matter your political party, there is a place for you with us and in this campaign, because those principles, I know, unite us across party lines. And in this election, I take seriously my pledge to be a president for all Americans.
Donald Trump violated his oath of office. It wasn't the first time on January 6th when he did it. During his presidency, I'd say there were countless occasions when Donald Trump violated his oath of office and attacked our Constitution. But it is, of course, the most stark and, of course, the most memorable for the dark day that was. And, of course, VP Harris is perfectly driving home that message and what she just said in that clip, and will continue to throughout this campaign, because we have to remind people that democracy is on the ballot once again, that Donald Trump is still a danger. Donald Trump is still a threat. And he still wants to interfere with your life and attack our democracy in whatever way he can. And Liz Cheney said something about Donald Trump's attack on our democracy and how it affects my generation, Gen Z specifically. And it really hits home to me. So I'd really like you to take a look at it.
One of the really stark moments for me in the last couple of years was having dinner with my husband and my sons, and looking at my sons and realizing, maybe they won't be able to take for granted that we live in a country with a peaceful transfer of power. And that sort of sudden realization that, you know, we've all generations of Americans have known that wasn't something that you had to worry about. Now we do have to worry about it. And so I think making sure that we kind of pull back from that abyss is what I'm very much focused on.
Not worried about the enemies list.
I think my generation is so politically active and is so involved because we know that every election in the Donald Trump era could have been our last, that if Donald Trump won in 2020, there's a chance that he just wouldn't have left, that he would have tried to institute himself as the dictator on day one that he wants to be. If he wins this time, and we need to fear for that. We need to work every day to prevent that we do not take for granted the peaceful transition of power. We don't take for granted democracy because we know we have to fight for it every single day. And that's why I'm so glad to see Liz Cheney out there on the campaign trail with VP Harris, delivering an even more powerful endorsement than the initial one she made right here.
I know that President Harris will be able to unite this nation. I know that she will be a president who will defend the rule of law. And I know that she will be a president who can inspire all of our children, and if I might say so, especially our little girls.
While I certainly disagree with Liz Cheney on a lot, I don't think we would go hand in. And in our policy preferences, I can say that I am forever grateful that she put aside policy and focused on the one policy that matters most, and that's democracy, to support VP Harris. I'm forever grateful for that. And we are going to keep talking about how democracy will be decided on this ballot every single day if you want to support that. As always, you can hit that subscribe button. Leave a like on this video, and if you're stuck around at the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.